Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Who Won Wednesday. The point of the show, Larson, is to spread toxicity, poison, anger in the wrestling community.
No, it's not. It's to foster a healthy environment to talk about great wrestling. That's what we get every Wednesday night.
You're a bummer, man.
No, you're a bummer. You want to spread toxicity and negativity. I want to spread positivity and love of great wrestling. Like I said, that's what we get every Wednesday night. Seems like more people are positive about AEW than NXT though, because they won the ratings again this week. They're actually up a lot.
They're up by 15% last week.
Whoa!
Last week it was 822,000 people watched AEW. This week, perhaps based off of the strong Full Gear pay-per-view, it was up 15% to 957,000. Over on the NXT side of things, the Invasion seems to have cooled off a little bit. Last week it was at 813,000. This week NXT dropped 8%, 750,000. Given that that's still an increase over what they were 2 weeks ago.
Well, part of that I think is because of the logistics of having main roster or Raw and SmackDown on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah.
They can't exactly send a lot of NXT talents over to the United Kingdom and Europe to further storyline along there. They kind of had Imperium, Andrews and Webster have NXT's proxy. Saw how that turned out.
Yeah.
Shayna did show up,
Yeah.
but you can't take, like the vast majority of the top flight NXT stars because they still got to do their own shows in Florida. So that's probably why the Invasion thing kind of suffered this past week.
So I don't know, maybe if they can, they've got a really high-profile Survivor Series coming up that NXT is going to be involved in. Of course, War Games is probably going to be all sorts of buzzy.
War Games.
And so maybe we'll see that inch up. I'd love to see both shows settle in at over 1 million.
Yeah, that'd be swell.
Remains to be seen if that can happen, but hopefully it will.
Hopefully it can. Let's talk match head-to-head. We're going to do things a little differently this time. Opening bouts, main events will be scored off against each other. Otherwise, it's kind of segments or matches that are kind of similarly themed. You had Jon Moxley taking on Michael Nakazawa over on AEW. On NXT, and Mox had a good promo afterwards too. Over on NXT though, Angel Garza versus Lio Rush for the NXT title, Cruiserweight title. Steve, who won this one?
Oh my God, it's not even close.
No, it's not.
Lio Rush and Angel Garza put on a clinic. That was a fantastic match. Crowd was huge. Over there on AEW, you had Mox in basically a squash match against Nakazawa, and then his promo, even that seemed a bit, I don't know, the motivations behind what he wants to do now with AEW seemed a little off from what they had been in the past.
Well, he's got a chip on his shoulder now.
On top of that,
Tony Khan put him in a box.
On top of that, Kenny Omega was seen completely sort of physically demolished from their match, and then Mox was totally fine to put on a squash match. Angel Garza and Lio Rush, run away with that one.
It might have been the best match of the whole night, so yeah, Angel Garza versus Lio Rush takes that one. Next, over on AEW, we had a tag match, Dark Order versus Jurassic Express, which saw the return of Luchasaurus.
Yep.
Over on NXT, Keith Lee versus Roderick Strong. Of course, there's all sorts of shenanigans involved towards the tail end of that match. You saw all the Undisputed Era, Ciampa, Riddle, Finn Balor all come out for a variety of reasons, mostly because it's actually important to the A story. Keith Lee and Roderick Strong, in my mind, get the edge here.
The thing that I really liked about this was Keith Lee stepped forward as kind of the alpha of his group. He had all the microphone time. He's the guy who said, "Get in here with me." Then he literally threw Roderick Strong into the ring with him when Roderick Strong said, "Okay, I'll fight you." And it was just a terrific match. Neither of these wrestlers in my book can do any wrong.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, you had Prince Devitt out there taking it to Matt Riddle, sling blades, shotgun drop kicks. Undisputed Era's out there. Yeah, it was the A story, so that obviously takes it. Not to take anything really away from Dark Order versus Jurassic
match.
Express. Yeah, it was a fun match, and they had a good little angle at the end. Probably where these teams should be in interesting little stories. So I thought that was good. It's just you got the A story going on the other side.
Pretty much.
And it's pretty good stuff.
Pretty much, yeah.
Lee and Strong.
Yeah. Next, Nyla Rose and, shoot, I forgot her name.
Tammy Jordan?
Yeah, something like that. Sorry.
Jobber Jordan.
Or Xia Li versus Aaliyah.
Yeah, this is the one that I'll give to Nyla Rose and the Jobber lady, simply because Nyla, probably out of all four of these competitors on either side of the aisle, Nyla Rose had the strongest performance.
Yes.
I feel like this is something that she needs.
Getting back on the winning track after not getting that women's title.
Yeah, and then over on the other side, like I'm not really sure. Aaliyah, was she bleeding? Was this a work? Was this
phony?
Shoot? Was it real?
Remains to be seen.
I don't really care about Aaliyah at all, and I haven't seen. Xia Li seems fantastic. It's just she's not in any stories right now. If this is setting up a story, that's pretty cool. But remains to be seen. I'm just happy to see Nyla Rose back.
Yes.
Look, I will give praise whenever AEW wants to do more with their women's division. I will heap praise on them.
Yes.
So there you go.
Next, this is one that's kind of an odd mashup, but we'll see what we can do with it. On the AEW side, we had Shawn Spears versus Peter Avalon versus Darby Allin. And then on NXT, they had this continuing thread throughout the show of the Team Rhea, Team Shayna members getting laid out. I'm going to give the edge to... It's kind of like the Co-A story. It's NXT, man. As much as I really like Darby Allin, he's going to have another star-making performance next week against Mox. That's really what the end result of all of this was to get Darby Allin to win and have him grab the mic saying he's going to take on Mox next week. The story of Bayley coming in and laying out pretty much the entirety of the NXT Women's Division is going to add to the fuel for her feud against Shayna and Becky at Survivor Series, but also creates a decent level of intrigue for this episode of NXT, because thought in your head going into it, at least part of it, is maybe Dakota Kai is responsible for some of this. So because it's more intrigue, I'll give the edge to NXT here.
I'm going to go the other way.
All right.
I'm going to say that because of the star quality of Darby Allin, and plus the little comedy bits that we got from Peter Avalon, excuse me, I would give the edge actually to this triple threat match. It also set up Darby Allin, who the crowd loves, with his very simple but very effective promo at the very end where he says, "Mox, I'm your guy. I accept your challenge." And it was like, oh my God, I didn't realize that I wanted this so bad, but I really want this.
Yeah.
Because that's going to be really, really great. And like you said,
great.
another bit of star-making performance that we're going to get next week. And on the flip side of that, the women's roster getting laid out could have been awesome. I just think the execution wasn't all that great. You saw like everybody sort of laid out. There was no like one overwhelmingly shocking moment. I'll give you an example. Last week when the OC took out the Undisputed
Era.
Era.
The ketchup bit with Bobby Fish.
Yeah, the ketchup bit. I feel like it was lacking that one thing. And on top of that, just anecdotally speaking, like I understood by the end that Bayley had taken everybody out.
Yeah, I did
but
too.
like I feel like it wasn't hammered home
because
that it was her.
They had a hard end date for USA Network. If it was on the network, WWE Network, they could have went extra 2 minutes and it would have been clear.
They had to rush the finish a little bit. I feel like maybe if there was one moment where one person got laid out and said it was Bayley or something like that, something that sort of either made you giggle in how cheesy it was. I thought the execution just wasn't really what it should have been, maybe.
Anyway, I like a good mystery, so I'll give the edge to NXT there.
There you go.
Next on AEW, we had that awesome Chris Jericho MJF promo there, back and forth, was hilarious. And over on NXT, you had Balor with his promo. This is kind of the prelude to the Keith Lee Roderick Strong bout. You had Balor channeling
Prince Devitt,
more or less, at least 3/4 of the way there. Matt Riddle comes out to attack him. Undisputed Era comes out. Keith Lee and Tommaso Ciampa's out there. It's part promo, part brawl, all pretty good stuff. However, gotta give the edge to Jericho and MJF. The Spider-Man meme type thing they were doing back and forth was hilarious. I'll split the difference on the NXT stuff. I'll give the advantage to Lee and Strong earlier. I did. I'm gonna give the advantage to AEW here. This is kind of one of the major things people were talking about coming out of last night.
I will give this a tie. I know everybody, maybe my expectations were too high for Jericho MJF because everybody was tweeting about it, and I watched AEW later. Yes, it was very amusing. Yes, it was a star-making promo for MJF. I kind of knew he already had that in him because he's had plenty of those moments, but it was really, really good. I thought that I would have been super disappointed if Balor came out and he just did a really, low energy, slow thing that he did like he did a couple weeks ago or last week, whenever it was. But he came out and I got the Balor that I wanted. I got the Devitt Balor. Matt Riddle showed some intensity. That was cool. Undisputed Era did their thing. So I'm going to say it was a tie. I think it was a tie. I think maybe the sillier bits or the more entertaining stuff maybe was Jericho MJF. But I really liked everything I saw on NXT. So I'm going to give this segment a tie.
Lame. Next, on AEW, maybe the blow-off match between Pac and Hangman Page. Over on NXT, Isaiah Swerve Scott taking on Bronson Reed. Both really, really fun matches. However, assuming this is Pac and Hangman Page's blow-off, at least for the time being, this match topped their effort at Full Gear. Tons of fun. I don't think they did a single barricade spot. Not taking anything away from Swerve or Bronson. I'm going to give the edge to Pac and Hangman Page here.
Yeah, just copy and paste what you said. I agree with all that. I think that Pac shockingly stomping Page's head into the ground was Pac. It's Pac. Was pretty awesome. Not taking anything away from Thick Boy Jonah
Rock.
Jonah Rock.
Yeah.
Bronson Reed.
Bronson Reed, definitely.
And,
Yes.
and Shane Strickland.
Yes.
Isaiah Scott.
Yes.
Not taking anything away from them. It was a really fun match. But maybe in like a year or so, when those guys have like established themselves, like then I'll care a bit more. But yeah, this is a terrific match. Pac versus Page.
Yes. Next, a couple brawls on NXT. It's supposed to get a Peter Dune, Killian Dane match. Then Damian Priest came in. Brawl ensued. Over on AEW, you got the Young Bucks and XLAX brawling all over the place. This one seems an obvious pick. It's got to be Young Bucks and XLAX, yeah?
Yeah.
There's Orange Cassidy in the bathroom, too.
He spray painted this was pure WCW. He spray painted a target where they were going to lay him out with that powerbomb. They did that again. I thought that was good. I thought I feel like 90% of this Pete Dunne, Damian Priest, Killian Dane stuff has just been all a bunch of brawls and stuff.
Yeah.
So, this was kind of felt like nothing new. I know the Young Bucks and XLAX have been brawling a lot too, but I feel like there was more purpose to their brawl.
Yes.
They were really doing a number on Nick Jackson's leg.
Yes.
It makes me wonder if they're going to write him off for any number of weeks, perhaps, because they were really focusing on that.
Yeah, who knows?
And powerbombing Matt through the floor.
Yeah, that could
He's had a history of bad back issues.
It could be an excuse to write the Young Bucks off for a little bit, so SCU can get the program with XLAX and get those tag titles on Santana and Ortiz.
It seems like they're going to do a thing with Private Party in the short term anyway, so that could be the case.
That too.
Yeah, that could be.
That too. Speaking of SCU, they were in the main event of AEW, putting up their tag titles against Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara. Over on NXT, a hell of a ladder match between Io Shirai and Mia Yim. The ladder match wins.
Yeah, for sure. Dude.
As huge as it was Scorpio Sky getting that pin at the end, which was massive.
It was a roll-up pin, so it was kind of like whatever.
That ladder match was brutal.
That ladder, I wouldn't be able to look Mia Yim in the face if I gave AEW the edge here. She took that ladder, boom, right there.
And then went through another one.
Blood everywhere, went through another one. Io Shirai can do no wrong. I'm sorry, but basically, if you have anything stacked up against Io Shirai, for my money, Io Shirai is going to win that particular category. So, anyways, there it is.
Who won the week?
Oh, NXT.
Yeah, NXT won.
Yeah, NXT won the week.
They're the two best matches.
Yeah.
They probably developed more storylines. Yeah, NXT totally won this week.
Dude, you got War Games coming up. NXT's, they're firing on all cylinders right now, and it is terrific. AEW was really fun, really entertaining. Just felt like a hangover. Felt like everybody was just sort of limping into the episode.
It definitely did. It definitely felt that way. Not to say it was bad. It wasn't. It was fun.
Really fun stuff.
NXT is advancing at this point in more stories because they have a show just to build up to in a couple weeks. And then the two matches that bookended the show were phenomenal.
It's everybody wins.
Everybody wins at the end of the day.
Wins.
See, that's what I like. Positivity. Fostering a good, positive environment to discuss wrestling and enjoy it. None of that. I don't want any of that negativity. Get out of here with that.
All right. Anyways, let us know what you guys think in the comments. Remember, keep it cool, guys.
Yeah.
Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.